Welcome, and we'll start off with our bracha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Let's see what I have for you. Now, let's see what I can do. All right, this is the surprise. Apparently, I can do this. I'm going to try it. I've never done this before. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. Okay, wasn't quite what I had in mind, but all right. That. Can you see that? That is the ephod. That is the ephod. I was sort of hoping that I could maybe split the screen. Maybe I still can. I don't know. Yeah, there's the Rashi there. Let's see what I can do. But this is so helpful, so helpful. So this is the ephod, right? That is actually the ephod. This is the cheshev ha-ephod. This is that cheshev that's described in the Torah as a cheshev. These are the straps that go over and this is the onyx stones, right? And the little, you'll see where they go, and this goes over the front of his shoulders. These are ribbons of blue, okay, that will attach to the, here we go. All right, got some other pictures for you. That is the tunic that he wears. This is his underwear, essentially. These breeches and the shirt, long sleeved, so you could see that. This is the sash that he used to tie around his tunic. And this is the ribbon that would make up the turban so that he'd wind that around. Let's see what else I have. Oh, there we go. This is the robe that he wore. And if I don't know that I can do this very well, but let me try. It's hard to see. Maybe I can get it big enough. We'll see. But there's the pomegranate, and you can hardly see it, but there's a bell. You can see a bell right there, and a pomegranate and a bell. And this is from this book by Moshe Levine. And so when he walked, he would tinkle, that he would actually make a tinkling sound. Let's see if I can.
Are these representations that have been made today, or how old are these?
Well, I think they were made by the person who designed the book. And what he did was he used both the Torah and rabbinic literature to be able to recreate these. But there have been illustrations for quite a while. But as far as I know, he might have been one of the earliest to actually try and fabricate these things. And they're models. They're not actual sizes. They're scale models. There's actually a prohibition to try to imitate 100% what went on in the tabernacle. That is part of its sanctity, is that you don't try and copy it. That's cute. Thanks, Golda. The chat, right? And here we are. Here you see the ephod in color and how it went, those straps. And here you see those sashes, those ribbons. And this, of course, is his tunic sticking out here. This is according to Rashi, of course. This is from his back. And that's from his front. That's how he looked in the front. This is so helpful, so helpful. And you can see how the onyx stones were on his shoulders. And then there are these chains of gold that were looped, as I said, to the breastplate. And then on the bottom, the breastplate was tied then also to the ephod so that it wouldn't move.
Can you zoom in? How's it tied to the ephod? It looks like it's tied to those ribbons. Let's see.
Okay, so there were little loops, metal loops on the back bottom part of the ephod. So there'd be a little metal loop on the bottom here and a little bit metal loop on the bottom from the inside, it looks like. And then
they kind of flip up.
Loop this through there and then tie it back there. Okay. And this, by the way, is this plate on his head that says Kodesh Lashem, sanctified to God. And I think that's also a message to us, what we're supposed to do. And the Torah also tells how it's attached, goes over his headdress. And I believe he used to put his tefillin right there, in that space there. I think that, there we go. Look at that. Here's how how you see the breastpiece it's a nice detail of the breastpiece. And this was the one picture that appeared to be on the internet, but that shows you clearly the onyx stones. By the way, I was wrong yesterday in surmising that there were 6 tribes of here and 6 tribes here, that they were done in the order of Har Grizim and Har Eval. That is not correct. It's according to their birth order as mentioned in Genesis, back in, I believe it's Vayetze, that's described, I believe. So there we go.
And which of these things is called the tzitz?
This is it up here.
Uh-huh.
I believe it's called the tzitz hazahav, and you can see better here how it was attached at the back here, also with the blue ribbon.
Uh-huh. And because there was something recently.
Sorry about that. Now that I'm trying to get rid of it. Hello. Okay, I'm doing even worse. There we go. That actually was an article in the forwards that talks about Israeli authors who wrote pieces. I read from something on Saturday night between Mincha and Ma'ariv, and was looking very carefully to find something that would be interesting between Mincha and Ma'ariv. And right now we're reading something by Amos Oz, and it's understanding Israel better through its fiction. And because I think that's helpful. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So yeah, let's keep doing that. Let's try that. There we go.
And was it you that said? I'm sure there was some mention of this in my Gemara class, and maybe you also said that each part of the each aspect of what he wore had some atoned for each thing, that atoned for some different kind of sin.
Right. And I haven't been able to find every single one, but I did find four of them. So the robe, the blue robe, evil speech. That's the tinkling of the bells, right? That words have an effect. Spoken words have an effect. The ephod, I was correct. It was idolatry. The choshen, the breastpiece, perversion of judgment, giving false judgments. These are it seems to me that every one of these have to do with a very serious perversion of human behavior that really has a major negative effect on human life. And the fourth one was the head plate, that seats that we referred to, arrogance. But I'd love to find the other ones as well, and I know I've seen them somewhere. I tried on the internet, just couldn't get what I was looking for. So I felt this would be really helpful. And what I was hoping to do, because we're continuing with a description now of the ephod, for you to have a picture of it. I don't know if I can, let me see something. If I can send it to you. I don't know if I can. Says export as a PDF. Maybe I share. No, share. Yep, I can share this file with you all. You want me to send it as a mail file?
Yeah, that's probably the safest thing to do.
Okay, I'm going to share. It's a JPEG, so you should be able to read it. All right, let me make sure. I'm going to send it to you all as a mail, and maybe it'll show up. Oh, I closed that. All right. I don't know if I have everybody's. There it is. Here we go. 1 second. All right, let me see. I'm sorry I'm taking up time doing this. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's try this. Yep. Okay. Got that. And David. And let's see. Let's see who I'm missing. Let me stop the share a second. 1 second. Forgive me. Okay, I'm going to stop the share a second. Just, hopefully I can do this. Okay, right. Okay. And Judith, I'm going to make sure I have yours. Okay, a second here.
Don't forget Lauren.
Yeah, I'll send it to her too. Thank you. All right. Hopefully you're going to hear the. Ooh, okay. Let's just give me a warning here. I'm calling this email the vestments of the high priest. And hopefully you'll hear a whoosh in a moment. Okay, I don't know if you heard that. I hope you did. Let's see what we got here. All right. So if you want to open it up, you can. Here we go with the Rashi. So we're describing, right? We're in this whole thing. And he said right here, V'od shtei tabaot, and another 2 rings, bishnei ktsot hachoshen, at the 2 edges of the choshen, of the breastplate, betachtito, on its lower edge, on its bottom edge. So this is what we're talking about in terms of the ones, these were the rings that the ribbon would go through. And he's going to say, ukenegdam, and right opposite them, shtei tabaot b'shtei taifot ha'oifod. So there were 2 rings on the 2 edges of the ephod. Let me see. Okay, let me do this. Right. So here, the rings would be right here. This is where those ribbons are coming out. So there would have been 2 at least according to this illustration, this is where those rings would be, right here. And I know, let's see here. Okay. All right. So he's saying that the ribbons which were going to tie the breastplate went off from here. That's how. And so you can see how they're going around his back and then attaching to the bottom of the breastplate. Let's go here. Okay. Milmata berosho, on the bottom, at its head is what he's saying. Hatachton, the lower part of the head. Hamechubar becheshev. Let me see. Did I leave something out? Yeah. No, I didn't. Yes, the shteik teifot ha'ephod, right? So remember, the katef of the ephod are those strips that go straight up and over his shoulder. So he's saying that those 2 rings were right there at the shoulder, at the bottom of those shoulder pieces. That's what he's referring to. Milamata. So again, this is what it looked like. So these are the shoulder pieces right here. And he's saying the rings went right here. That's exactly how he's got it illustrated, how Rashi's describing it. Okay. Maybe, all right. Berosho hatachton, at its lower edge, lower extremity, mechubar b'cheshev tabaot hachoshen, and then it is attached to the cheshev, that belt, tabaot hachoshen, and then the rings of this is a new sentence, the rings of the breastplate, el mul tabot ha'ephod, would then be right opposite in other words, on the other side of his body, but they were right opposite the rings of the ephod, shochvin ze al ze, they would lie one flat on top of the other, umerachsan, and he fastened betfil tchelet, with a blue ribbon, tachuv betabaot ha'ephod, which was inserted into the rings on the ephod, v'hachoshen, and then the rings on the breastplate, shehei tachtit hachoshen, that the lower extremity of the breastplate, davuk l'cheshev ha'ephod, would be attached to the belt, the cheshev of the ephod, v'lo yehei nad, so that it wasn't going to move, v'nivdal v'holech v'chozer. In other words, and separated then from the ephod. So the ephod and the choshen would be attached to each other by this blue ribbon, and as he walked, it wouldn't bounce back and forth against his chest. That's the point that Rashi's making. Are there any questions or any clarifications at this point? Or
Yeah. So what does
yeah.
it mean by it lies flat? There was some part in there where you said
Yeah,
it lies
okay.
flat on top of it.
Right.
I didn't. Yeah, okay.
Let me see if I
That's
can get, okay, let me see what I can do here with the illustrations.
It's the breast. Yeah.
Okay, so what it's saying, okay, is that it lay flat here against his chest. And also it lay, you can see that it also lay on, I think that's the last pic. Yeah, that's the last picture I have. Sorry.
It's okay.
But that's how it lays flat against him. So you can see this wouldn't be able to move outwards as he was walking. Couldn't flap against him, is the point that it's.
Yeah. Think
Okay,
about,
the
you know,
rings-
doing all the stuff that the high priest would have to do,
Right, he
and he
did
would get it into stuff. So
Yeah, he did a lot of
Yeah.
walking. He did a lot of moving.
And okay, and then and it lines up with the rings in the back, right? Even though they're not on the same side, they're essentially, you know, completely parallel to each
That's
other,
the
right?
point
That
he's
was the
making.
other. Okay,
Correct.
okay, got it.
Yeah, no, good. All right. Stop. Okay, so back in the verse, it said that they should be, here it goes. They should make the ephod zahav, tchelet, v'argaman, should be made out of gold, blue, purple, and crimson yarns, and linen, twisted linen, and made mashteh choshe, right? By an artisan, but actually I think Golda came up with a translation that made more sense, I think. I just don't remember what exactly you said, Golda, but I thought it was a good
worked
translation.
in designs.
Yes, okay.
Worked into designs.
All
And
right.
it kind of goes back with what's at the very end of the previous of the previous Truma,
Mhm.
because they're using the same color scheme for the socket, you know, between the cube, you know, all the posts and the enclosure for
Right, that's correct. For the covering, the parochet that was between the holy and the holy of holies, and I think, and also the parochet that was in front of the Mishkan.
yeah, which would make him belong to that.
Yes.
Yes.
It's all one idea. Here we go. Zahav tchelet v'agaman v'tolach shani shesh moshzar. So gold, blue, purple, crimson yarns, and linen twisted. Here's how they made it. These were now the yarns that we're talking about. Chameshet minim halalu. These 5 different kinds of materials. Shizurin b'chol chut v'chut. They were all intertwined. Okay, so let's see how this is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So let's see. Okay. Meradadim et hazahav. They would beat out the gold, kamin tasim, into kinds of plates, into thin metal plates, dakim, very thin plates. The kotzetzin ptilim mehem, and they would they would incise out threads from the gold plate. The tavin otam, and they would weave them chut shel zahav. This is how they would intertwine the threads. A thread of gold im sheish chutin shel chelet, with 6 threads of the blue, the chut shel zahav, and a gold thread im sheish chutin shel argaman, with 6 threads of purple, v'chein betolat shani, and likewise with the crimson yarns, right? V'chein b'sheish, and likewise with the linen. B'chol haminim, on all the different types of thread. Chutan kaful shisha. Each one was doubled up six threads. The chut shel zahav, and a thread of gold. In kol echad ve'echad, with each and every one. So, you know what I was thinking of? 6 and 1, that the gold is Shabbat, and the other threads are possibly the regular days of the week. On the other hand, I'm just thinking of this, and also you had the linen thread, which would have been, I assume, a white linen threads, 6 white linen threads, which would represent the Yemei Chol, the regular days of the week, and those other colors, the three types of colored thread could represent the 3 pilgrim festivals, or the white could represent Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Because remember, it says on Yom Kippur, though your sins be red as scarlet, they shall be like white as snow. So I'm wondering to myself, as I'm thinking, it's not that I've read anything about this anywhere. It just seemed very suggestive to me, because Shabbat is a totally different kind of day from the other days. Okay, so just to finish this up, achar kach, and afterwards, shozer et kulam kechad. He then, after he's taken these threads, these individual strands, and fabricated them the way Rashi's just described, he then takes each one of those 4 different strands now, and he puts them all together. He now twines them all together, ke'echad, like one. Nimtza chutan, and now you find that the thread is kaful kafchet, that it's made up, each thread is made up of 28 strands. V'chein b'forash b'mesechet Yoma, this is detailed out in the tractate Yoma. V'lamad min hamikra, and he infers it from this mikra hazeh, from this scriptural verse, Vayirak'u et pachei hazahav. That is to say, they beat out the plates of gold, the kitzetz ptilim, and then they cut out threads, la'asot et ptilei hazahav, in order to make the gold threads. But toch hatchelet, in the midst of the blue, v'toch haragaman, and in the midst of the purple, etc., the gomer, etc. Lamadnu, so we can infer from this, shechut shel zahav, that a thread of gold, shazur, is twisted in kol min v'min, with each and every one of the other types of material. And then Maaseh Choshev, again, however you want to translate that, but this is what Rashi says, Kvar pirashti, I've already explained, Shehi arigat shtei kirot. So this is what he means. It is the weaving of 2 sides of the fabric, she'ein surat shnei evareha, that the design on either side, domot zulazu, do not resemble each other. So it's done in such an amazing way that one side of the fabric is woven to look like one kind of design, and when you turn over the fabric to look at the other side of it, it's got a completely different design.
Wow.
But yeah, I know, that's a good trick. That is a good trick.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, this is all we have time for right now. And good, okay, I guess Shira Beth is gone. And
Yeah, she had to go.
yeah, she said, but that's wonderful that she could at least be with us that long. And of course, she can always listen to the recording. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to stop right here. I'm actually going to put a marking in.
I have fabrics with these qualities that you're describing.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, my father was in the fabric business.
Yes.
And so from, 50 years ago up until for about 20 years, I collected many pieces of fabric from him that had been handed down from a man, Dr. Sharma from India. So, yeah, I have them in my cedar chest.
Wow. That sounds really cool.
So Lisa, is the gold actually a thread, or is it like
Yeah.
really thin wire?
It's actually made into thread. I have some with thread. I have some with wire also, but I understand about, God, I forget the name of the cloth. I'll think of that too. Within the next week, I'll go in my cedar chest and I'll look for
Ooh,
examples and I'll bring them and show them.
show and tell, yay.
Bye, David.
Bye, Dave.
All right. Gonna stop the recording.
And the breastplate